Don't fear the darkness, fear the shadow. Those are the words of the late Elijah Mainville, who finally lost his battle to cancer yesterday. For those of you that know about Drax's shadow, he seemed like he was the world's biggest Stardust fan. He actually was brought into the ring by Triple H and Stephanie McMahon live on Raw to sign a Tough Enough contract when he actually submitted a Tough Enough video saying he wanted to be a WWE superstar. And throughout the time, the WWE and Cody especially have been really close to the Mainville family. Now, Elijah has battled this disease of neuroblastoma for 6 years. And we found out a couple of days ago that he was in hospice care. And it was just a matter of time. So basically trying to make sure he was as comfortable as possible. And we found out that he had passed away. Cody had took to Twitter and basically saying, I know there's a certain cowboy waiting for you in the sky. There's some images of the Drax Shadow face paint that Rick Victor was actually wearing in one of his Twitter pictures in tribute. If the Ascension were going to work, we're going to work main event tonight. Before this happened, to help with the medical bills, they set up a GoFundMe. And the GoFundMe is at Drax, DRAX -Shadow AKA Elijah, ELIJAH -Mainville, MAINVILLE. And they have a goal of about $20,000. They're at $15,240 as of right now. So if you can help in any way possible, the family would 100% appreciate it. I know times are tough right now and money is tight, especially being the first of the year, but this definitely goes to a great place. And you can definitely tell just by watching him that Elijah really loved wrestling and he really loved being around wrestling. And it was good that he was able to experience what he was able to in the time that he was alive. Cody had furthermore went on basically saying that every donation of $25 or more, Cody would sign and personalize an 8x10 to mail it express to you as a token of his appreciation. And if someone is able to make an extremely generous donation of $1,500, he's signing his Wrestle Kingdom 11 tights and sending them to the person that does that. So I thought it would be a great idea to open the show with paying tribute to Elijah Mainville, to Drax Shadow. And I have just noticed via my Twitter feed, because Twitter runs a million miles an hour, there is a guy by the name of Sean Towers, DJ Cool Arrow on Twitter. He did donate the $1,500, so he will get Cody's Wrestle Kingdom gear. The 8x10s will be coming out soon. And Cody and Brandy want to thank everyone from the bottom of their hearts for the generosity and being able to pay tribute. In only 2 days, they almost got their goal. So that's just an amazing thing right there. That's the power of the internet. It really is. And I will tell you right now, I said this last year, and I'm saying it again this year, and I think this year especially. I think with Connor the Crusher going in last year, I think Elijah Mainville needs to be the Warrior Award recipient this year. I think it's only right. And all the heat that Cody has with WWE or doesn't have with WWE, I honestly believe because of Elijah, he would come back and do this presentation as should be and induct Drax Shadow into the WWE Hall of Fame. But I wanted to start off the show tonight, but just by bringing that up, I thought it was the right thing to do after everything. We do a lot of things when it comes to wrestling here on the network, and I just wanted to open the show properly. So, Elijah, rest in peace. So, welcome to another edition of the Monday Night Raw Popcast here on the Popcast Network. My name is Sir Owen. Joining me, as always, is Ashley.
Yep. Hello.
And we're going to talk about the just completed edition of Monday Night Raw that we just watched. No need to talk about a pre-show because they're lasting, 10 minutes now?
Something like that.
Not even worth mentioning. Something drastic's going to come up at one point, and they're going to be like, "It must see, we have to watch it." Give me a reason. Just give me a reason. I dare you. Ashley's back. Main event tapings tonight were taped before the show, where you're going to see Brian Kendrick take on Mustafa Ali, and the Shining Stars versus Darren Young and Sin Cara.
Oh my god.
My god.
His mind is blown so much he's repeating himself.
No, it's because I'm on twice. Because I thought we'd do the Kevin Dunn gimmick
of getting a random reaction from me.
That works. Just mute your mic. Gotta work perfectly.
Except I can't mute the fucking tablet because it's on a call. Fuck that idea. It was a good one, but fuck it.
Apparently,
God damn it, Kevin Dunn. You have beaten me into submission. You fuck.
Indeed.
Enough of the fucking kids, Kevin. Somebody's going to say you're a pedophile if you keep showing them.
It's getting ridiculous. It really is.
The thing is, Raw wasn't too bad tonight.
No, not really.
You know, it seems like now that we've actually turned the start of the year, Raw's realised, right, we have to write shit because, you know, if we don't take advantage of it now, nobody's going to be fucking watching by August when the football comes back.
You got to strike while the iron's hot.
Yep. So we don't even get like traditional pyro and everything. That's what you get for getting WrestleMania in New Orleans. That's what you get. So yeah, Stephanie's doing a performance review for 2016, even though it's 2017. What is this, the fucking Oscars? And asks about, you know, Undertaker being here, and he's got, I've got a good feeling he'll be up here. And Stephanie's like, that isn't good enough. I want to know whether he's here or not. And I'm going, get a fucking Ouija board, bitch. What's the worst that can happen? She's basically like, the last time we saw Undertaker was on SmackDown. So, you know, we don't want it to be a raid or a run-in or something. And I'm like, seriously? This guy's been in the fucking company before Raw or SmackDown even fucking existed. And you think he's on a brand? I will be proven that. I will be proven right on that fact later on. Seth comes in and says, "By the way, guys, I'm in the Rumble." I'm like, right, so it's a private meeting for a performance evaluation, and Seth just walks in and goes, "I'm in a match. We what?" Except it gets weirder because Braun then storms in and says, "I want Roman Reigns or Goldberg or else." And Braun's like, I'm seriously like a Braun now in terms of his character. It's like, are you actually trying to be Adam Blompier's version of Brock Lesnar?
It's one way to put it.
Yeah, Braun one man because he spear me. Braun shat his pants. It's because I saw Star Wars Rogue One and it scared me. Because I thought I was a robot called or KS2O, whatever the fuck it is. Braun's characters are just like, I don't know. It's like he's got the stupidity of Psycho Sid, but he doesn't have either the charisma or the of Sid.
We've made the Sid comparison before.
Yeah. And Foley's like, Goldberg isn't even in Louisiana. Roman's in a match right now. And then Seth goes, whoa, don't worry. If you want to fight, I'm pretty sure we can settle something. And then they have a fucking brawl. And Steph's like, stop! Stop! I'll fire you! And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So the brawl disappears, and Stephanie's just like, I'll deal with this. I want you to deal with Taker tonight. Make sure he's here. And like, I'm sick of fucking tired. Fearing that tomorrow Shane's suddenly going to be a base authority figure. And I'm like, can we just have the authority figure used sparingly rather let's rehash the Attitude Era for the 59,000th and 874th fucking time? It's nearly about the same attendance as the fucking Alamo Dome. Anyway, Roman's music hits. At least I think it did. All I heard was booze. So they recap the Goldberg moment from last. Oh man, what a moment for Roman. And I'm like, yeah, Roman actually got fucking cheered. And Jericho and Owens come out. Joe begins to make the introductions. And then Strowman comes out. Roman goes to fight him. And sort of does pretty well against him. But then, of course, Kevin and Chris join in. Even Roman can't deal with a 3-on-1 beatdown. So, yet. Cometh today. It's going to fucking happen. He will be like Okada.
You will not use them in the same name.
Yes. Because then Minoru Suzuki will fucking murder Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay. Fair point. Continue.
That's what it matters. That's the thing.
We'll talk about that on Wednesday. Don't worry.
But Seth's music hits, comes out with a steel chair, I think, smacks Kevin, smacks Chris, and then
the weakest chair jabs ever.
Somewhat like concerto of sorts to Braun, because Roman's got a chair now, and we're just like smacking Braun as well with a couple of chairs at the same time.
Can we not forget the fact that the first thing Rollins does is hit Braun with the Van Daminator?
True.
Had to mention that.
I was going to get the bit where Rollins swears.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Edit. Bleep it out. And Stephanie's music hits and says, "Don't worry. This match will not end this way. Nor will Raw start this way. Roman, you got a chance to rest before you lose your title." And I'm like, no. We're actually... Yeah, I was making a fucking joke about the Daniel Bryan shit.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, it's the Authority versus Roman Reigns. And he'll never get the chance at being champion.
This is not going to work.
Every single fucking storyline, even in the women's division, is sort of revolving around Daniel Bryan. This is fucking terrible. This is actually fucking terrible. So yeah, but because Seth's so hungry for a match, he gets Braun Strowman next. Wait, we keep seeing this every single fucking week. Where's the originality, you cunts?
Is there anybody else on this show at all? Because I'm starting to wonder if there's probably 15 guys on this roster.
Yeah. No. There's 30, but they just face each other every fucking week. So it makes it look like there's only 8 because there's only 8 matches that ever fucking happen.
Yeah, they need to basically shake some things up right now, like immediately. They'll probably wait till after the Rumble, though.
Yep.
So we get our first match. Braun Strowman versus Seth Rollins. Corey Graves on commentary says grits and gut. Instead of grit and guts, he says grits and gut. I had to mention that.
That fucking sums up Strowman a lot.
Grit and gut.
No, grits. That's all he fucking eats.
He is the crafty one, after all.
Lovecraft.
Oh. Monster Trucks coming to theater near you. Anyway. They wish. Coming to Halloween Horror Nights some year. So
for the kids, for
yeah,
Roman
exactly.
Reigns fans.
For the children. Speaking of Rob Van Dam, Seth Rollins must have watched his RVD matches this week because not only did he hit a Van Daminator, he hit Van Dam's turn in midair 5-star frog splash.
Yeah.
Good heat on this match. Rollins hits a sliding knee. Looked great. He gets up on the top of the ring post, dives off. Braun's out of the way. He hits the barricade. So they fight in the crowd. He drags him towards the ring. The referee's counting. And, of course, the fans are doing the 10 count. So they throw the actual count from the people that are paying attention off. And when they're at 8, they count them out. So, yeah, that's pretty much the end of that. It's a double count out, no contest. Rollins grabs a chair, and he keeps Braun at bay with a chair on the outside. This did what it had to do, really, honestly. Strowman is good in small doses where he's working with a guy that knows what he's doing. It makes complete sense. You put him in the ring with a ring general like Sami Zayn or Seth Rollins because he's going to have to work those long matches eventually. And sooner rather than later, because I know obviously him and Roman are going to lumber around the Camping World Stadium, but you have to have him ready so he can go up against somebody that's got a lot more speed and quickness than he'll ever have. But the thing is, you have to understand something about Braun. We can say what we want about him. He's got that extreme strength, and he's very agile for a big man. So they're playing that up. I mean, I don't know when he became the bee's knees to be pushed like he is, but I mean, I still don't see it, but I understand why they're doing what they're doing. And a match like this goes a long way, especially because Braun was pretty much protected in this. He didn't have to lose. He didn't have to get pinned. He didn't have anything like to put him down. It was basically a double count out. So it was fine for what it was.
Yeah.
Nothing to write home about, but it was okay.
Yeah, what it had to do in terms of get the storyline across of nobody giving a shit about Braun. I approve.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Don't know why I approve, just fucking do.
So we move on.
After basically Braun, we get that weird bit with Braun and the chair and that thing. I don't know what that was about, really.
I don't know why a big man needs a chair.
Does that mean the Royal Rumble is going to be having weapons again? Because at the rate we're going, that's all you're going to have to do to take out all the fucking behemoths in the ring. So we got Bayley and Sasha backstage as they recap Bayley winning the number one contenders match last week thanks to the distraction from Sasha. And, they say, awesome what you did last week, awesome what you did last week. And talk about Charlotte and, she might, what tactics she might use at Royal Rumble, Dana and all that. And then Charlotte comes in clapping, saying, oh my God, Sasha, you deserved Emma Stone's Golden Globe for Best Actress. And I'm going,
nope.
You fucking think WWE is a comedy or musical?
I do every single week. It's about as much of a comedy or musical as The Martian is.
No. Martian wasn't entirely funny.
Neither is WWE.
Oh no, I've left my ass off at a few things over the last few weeks.
There's been they've hit on a couple of things. I blame Jimmy.
Don't forget, last week we had Kevin Owens show Sign Face Man.
Yes, that was
Never
amazing.
forget. And, Sasha's like, nobody's beating me on pay-per-view. And I'm like, nobody fucking watches pay-per-view. I love the fact it's like we don't do pay-per-view, but each fucking live event on the network is referred to as a pay-per-view.
Right.
Hashtag make your fucking mind up, WWE.
Some people still don't buy the network, though, Ashley. Even though what kind of a bargain it is, some people still won't buy it or can't.
Good. Just get it via other means like I fucking do.
That's what most people are doing nowadays. They're cutting the cord with cable, which means they're not paying money for the network either.
And Sasha says, I'll be... Charlotte goes, yeah, but I've got the title back from you multiple times. Nia comes in, and then Nia and Charlotte take out Sasha and Bayley respectively. And Charlotte was like, yeah, and slaps Nia on the shoulder. And I'm serious. I'm going, oh, that was a fucking mistake. And Nia just grabs her by the shoulders and shoves her into the boxes. Basically as if it was up against the wall, and just gives her a look of like, don't fucking do that again, and walks off. Message sent. Also, I would like to know the way Charlotte threw Bayley into those boxes. I swear Bayley has a broken neck. Because the way she connected connected with it was not fucking natural.
Whiplash.
I'm seriously hoping Charlotte has injured Bayley, because then Vince will go, who the fuck have we got on this division now? Oh, wait. Summer Rae's injured. Paige is injured. Emelina's never going to fucking re-debut.
Nope.
Who else have we got? Fuck all. So then they recap the Jack Gallagher and Daivari stuff from the last few weeks. Because Jack Gallagher's taking on Drew Gulak. This is the most fucking sensible match of the night because it's a British strong style or a British submission style wrestler against an American British submission style wrestler.
Plus, to be totally honest, it's a really good promotion for the UK tournament this weekend, even though they didn't use that as such.
No, because, he's too light. What should really happen is we crown the winner, whoever it may be, and Neville goes on the fucking King of the Britons. He just, And then we have the women's tournament in a couple of months, and then he comes out and says, I'm king of the women.
Was he Andy Kaufman?
Flair comes out and goes, woo! No, you're not, brother.
God. Sometimes I don't know how your mind works.
That Randy. Hashtag Foxy. You don't need to know how it fucking works.
This match was good. It was super short. Crowd didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
I like one of my favorite spots in the early onset of the match was when Gallagher just traps the foot and he just basically keeps Gulak unable to do anything. I like that.
Beautiful.
Good stuff here. Gallagher he hits the headbutt of Infinite Death, and then he hits the running drop kick in the corner and gets the win. Weirdly enough, Tony Nese was at ringside, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Because he usually is, but he did nothing in this match. He just kind of stood there. And then Jack Gallagher proceeds to cut an extremely amazing promo, setting up a parlay for 205 Live tomorrow.
Yes, except it's fucking Caruso. She's back. Apparently, she wasn't allowed in Florida. Hopefully, that's a good WrestleMania. Hopefully, she's banned from the state of Florida.
Well, considering
the fact she can't be. She does NXT.
She's also from Florida, so that's impossible.
I don't fucking care. She wasn't on last week. That was the best. That's why it's the best episode of Raw ever. Because bloody Great Caruso wasn't on it.
I really think they're setting her up to fail.
Yep. Good. Basically, she was just like, I want your response on what happened last week. This was not PG-13. He'd have gone, I'm fucking pissed, you bitch. Sort of like how Kevin does it, except turned up to 11 stupid.
Yes.
And Jack says, the situations, there should be a scuffle between me and him. But given the time of gentlemen, I'm going to offer him a chance for parlay on 205 Live tomorrow. And of course, Charlie goes, excuse me, but what's parlay? And I'm like, oh, you never watched the fucking Pirates of the Caribbean film? Every fucking parlay is all in every fucking time. Oh, parlay.
I'm starting to believe that the way that she does things at WWE is obviously just because they want her to be this character.
They want Dasha and her to look stupid.
Charlie and Dasha are nice girls, and I know this because they're good friends with a good friend of the network, obviously. And they seem like really nice people, but they get crapped on every single week because of their robotic ways of dealing with things, because I think that's how they're supposed to act.
It's not hashtag where in the world is Carmen San Diego. It's getting to a point where it's hashtag where in the fuck is Kathy Kelly?
Yeah, that is a very good question.
Yeah. I don't care if you've got something against Canadians being interviewers because you've already got one. The American ones are just as shit.
And what are they doing? What are they doing with Renee? They're actually going to turn her into a worker for a mixed tag match.
Yeah. How do you fucking like that, Lana?
Pretty much.
The gimmick is now going to a non-wrestler.
A 100% non-wrestler.
Yes. So he basically established negotiations, see if we can come to some sort of agreement, arrangement sort of thing. And of course, if things cannot be resolved, we may have to resort to fisticuffs. And he does sort of a look, and it's like, I know he can't do it because Trent Seven would fucking murder him, but he'd tweak the mustache. That's what would happen. Because that's Trent's gimmick. And that's going to be happening at least on Saturday, and I hope for a lot of fucking Sunday.
WWE's answer to Snidely Whiplash. Oh, I think Trent's going to do just fine. Don't worry.
Now I'm fucking sorted. I've got 4 guys that live within 50 miles of me. Well, I guess Trent is possibly more than that. But, with him and Maloney and Dunn and Bate, I'm fucking sorted. One of those 4 wins. Fuck it. Then, just before we get to commercial,
why did this happen?
Shawn Michaels is learning to dab with TJ Perkins. This is TJ Perkins' contribution to tonight's show. He's teaching to dab.
Once again, I said this last time, the only person that's allowed to do this thing anymore, this horrid Vine dance that needs to die, Michael Thibodeau, Bill and Ted, last year. Other than that, no.
Where the inspiration for the to be continued meme came from. Fucking some parade where Squidward did the dab.
I don't care. I don't want to see it.
That was the one.
I'm done with this. Call me an old man. I don't care. I do not want to see this Vine crap on WWE television.
Could be tout. Don't know how I fucking remember that.
WWE doesn't remember that.
Member berries. You remember? I remember.
Well, they remember NXT 2010. We'll get to that later.
One thing to note about the way the fact is Michaels failed to do it, but in doing so, was doing the fucking terrible Hulk Hogan impression from 12 years ago. With putting the arms up like Hogan, like he did when he was the fake Hogan in that Larry King fucking ripoff thing.
Yes.
That was the best bit. I wasn't thinking of the dab. I was thinking of Shawn Michaels being Hulk Hogan back in SummerSlam 2005. That was the best. Yes. Foley's still looking for Undertaker. And Stephanie comes in and says, "Where's Undertaker?" And he's like, "I don't know. But he'll be here." And Stephanie says, "He's got to be in the ring in the next hour or else the performance review will be a fail. Worth noting, 70 minutes. So clearly Stephanie wasn't paying much fucking attention. Or they were trying to time with a college football game. More likely the latter than the former. So then, hang on. I'll check. I'll do this, and then there's some weird fucking noises outside, so I have to head off. So, off. Shawn Michaels comes out and says, I've missed you guys, and I've missed WWE. Especially around this time of the year, the Royal Rumble's a few weeks away, and it's in my hometown. I remember the Rumble 20 years ago because I won the WWE title in my hometown. And this year looks stacked. You got Brock, you got Goldberg, you got Strowman, you got Rollins. The list goes on and on. Except, of course, the fans go one more match, and he's like, Shawn basically blows them off, saying like, "Don't make me touchy." It's like, and he says he's here to promote the resurrection of Gavin Stone, coming out January 20th. And he says it multiple times throughout the thing. But then Rusev's music hits, and him and Lana and Jinder come out. And Rusev says, if you want the movie, Lana should be in the movie. And Shawn goes, well, it's already finished, so I don't think we can put her in. So Rusev goes, perhaps you should do it like that rubbish Star Wars film and use CGI to put her in the thing. And says, well, create beautiful women perfectly, but, big monster Wookiee-like people. Like you. Yeah, that seems good. And Rusev goes, first of all, have you seen these locks? I'm the Bulgarian George Clooney. And then I say to Rusev, so when did you date Stacy Keibler? And then said that Lana should have won the Golden Globe, not Emma Stone last night.
There's not much.
Again, I'm thinking about the fact that this isn't a movie, it's a television show. So technically it'd be Sarah Paulson.
Yep.
And two, I'm pretty sure she won an award for her supporting role in Banshee many a year ago. Supporting in more ways than one. And clearly, Shawn has seen this scene as well. Because Shawn goes, look, do not compare Lana and the Golden Globes because I get flashbacks to a bygone era. The sick part of me is going, that Sunny porner. But,
Oh, my God.
So Rusev goes, Lana must be in your movie. Otherwise, people will forget about your movie, Shawn, just like they've forgotten about your career. Cue Enzo and Cass and say, it's not very often Enzo goes, it's not often I get to say this, but I'm not the realest guy in the room. That's Shawn Michaels. And then, Shawn, you know what we got here? He says, haters. Haters. And then Enzo says, Lana must be a great actress because, faking her enjoyment with Rusev, in the bedroom. And then asks Cass, it seemed like a good partnership for a movie. I don't know, what could it be, And then it's like the good, the bad, and the ugly. Puss in Boots. And then the pianist. And of course, Enzo and HBK are like, can't say that on television. No. They're tickling the ivories. And of course, Enzo goes, whoa, that's even worse. Like, no, piano, playing the piano. No, a pianist. And then I'm pretty sure fucking Sean says penis.
It sounded like he did.
Yeah, not pianist. And then Rusev goes, I've had enough. I think Shawn Michaels came up with his own, which was Dumb and Dumber. But Rusev goes, I've had enough. And Cass says, well, you got a problem. We can finish up. And is like, what the fuck, man? And he's like, don't worry, there's 3 of us. Yeah, as if Lana's actually going to get in the bloody fight. Really? And Cass says, I'll prove that, you know, there's only one word to describe you. And I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it out as well as spell it out. DESPERATE. Soft. And then Sean says, I think I'll hang around for this match. And if you're not down for that, I've got 2 words for you. I was thinking, oh God, it's the Gorillas of Destiny.
That would have been a lot better than this crap. This was god awful.
It's been 2 words, Nick.
I got 2 words for you. Change channel. This was horrible.
Well, I expect it to be on, but it's like I saw Little Kuribo's latest.
Right.
Because Mark Remark got ditched because he didn't feel he could put enough effort in because of his work that he's been doing on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged series. So he did an actual sort of shoot, you know, Martin talking about what's going on with Raw and SmackDown Live right now. And he brings up how am I supposed to be the good guys and the bad guys of this feud? Because the good guys, Enzo and Cass, are acting like dicks.
Right.
And the bad guys are acting like inept 4-year-olds. So where am I supposed to be invested? Go check that video out. It's not as jokey as his Mark Remark things are, which are also fucking hilarious. You should check them out as well. But it was just interesting that they brought it up, and then 2 hours later, they literally had a bloody physical example of it on the bloody television. I'm going to see what the fucking noise is outside. Talk about the match!
All right. So we move on. And we actually move on to an actual match itself. And the match is Big Cass versus Jinder Mahal, because what the world needs now is more of these two facing off. The only thing about this match that mattered is Shawn Michaels hit the sweet chin music on Rusev on the outside, which I'm pretty sure they screwed that up because didn't they already do that at WrestleMania this past year with the stuff with the League of Nations? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Nothing to this match. Seriously, nothing to this match at all.
Nothing. Absolutely.
One of the major things in this match is Big Cass. Oh my God, Big Cass and Jinder Mahal really badly messed up the East River Crossing. Oh, that looked terrible.
Terrible. I wonder why they didn't show the replay of that. I've just realized.
Yes, they just showed a picture of a very pissed off Cass leaping up in the air for the elbow off the ropes.
Can't think why.
Cass wins with the Empire Elbow. This is over. Let's never speak of it again.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, the stuff is fine. Enzo has tremendous charisma. I get that. I understand why they do what they do, but I don't care. I really do not care. I don't care about Enzo and Cass. Their magic is lost on me now.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm just getting old, but I don't care.
Nope.
I hate this stuff so much. And it's not entertaining. It's not fun. I mean, I'll probably do the sing along because I'll be there in the moment. But I mean, when it comes down to it, I don't care. You're not giving me any reason to care. You're not doing anything with tag division. And you put Cesaro and Sheamus together, you give them the belts. That's cool, no problem there. There's no tag teams to go after them now. They're kind of feuding with the Good Brothers, but it seems like it's just a placeholder feud until something bigger comes along. Because they've treated Gallows and Anderson like a comedy act for the last several months, so it's hard to take them seriously. I hate this. This sucked. This sucked. I'm done. Let's talk about an actual.
I don't think that was the problem.
What was the other problem?
I realized it's the problem that I realize we haven't said in bloody months, even though who you know. I can't be bothered to get the fucking sounder, but I need to channel him. You're tearing me apart, Lana!
Yeah, the room stuff is back. Yeah, kind of.
Yes.
Just a bit.
No, just because it's nonsensical and why the fuck does it exist?
This is stupid. I don't care. I miss Summer Rae. The only time I get to see Danielle now is on her Snapchat.
Indeed.
I hope she comes back eventually. I'm telling you, the Raw women's division is in shambles too. SmackDown's got a really cohesive storyline going on with Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch and Deonna Purrazzo until now she's working for TNA.
Unless she does both, it's like, holy shit.
She already did. Completed the trifecta because she worked Women of Honor earlier this year too. The thing is, and then you've got then you got the stupid Gaga Total Divas storyline with Nikki and Natalya, which I don't care about. And then you got other people that just don't. No. They're not getting any TV time. And basically, the women's division on Raw is literally just 3 people. And now you have thrust Nia Jax into the picture, which no, and Dana Brooke into the picture, which just no. So yeah, this is just not a good time.
To just channel a bit of Shawn Michaels there, please never use the words Nia Jax and thrust in the same sentence again. Holy fuck.
Can we talk about a good match though?
Is that good in
I like this. If I would,
sorry, we'll get to the Good Brothers later.
Yeah, we'll get to Good Brothers later. Actually, it's the next segment after this one.
Emmeline is still coming soon.
Yeah, she is. Emelina was also seen at STK at downtown at Disney Springs with Zack Ryder over the weekend. But that's just Twitter for you.
We
I hope to run into them at Horror Nights again this year. They're really cool people. I want Zack Ryder to get better as soon as possible. He shaved his face completely. He was looking like a major brother again, and now the beard is starting to grow back. So fear not, people that love Zack Ryder's beard. It's coming back. So we get our next match. I want this match to go on 205 Live and get like 10 minutes. Adrian Neville versus Lince Dorado.
The weird thing is, did you notice Neville?
What about Neville?
They've tweaked his entrance music finally.
Somebody's listening. I'm telling you.
They didn't have like the whole, 3, 2, 1 countdown thing. It was like some grungy guitar just covering over that bit. And then it was just the generic, Neville theme.
That song.
Yeah, that one. That finger buzz is coming.
Interesting. But the thing is...
Yeah. Heel Neville music, he should just fucking come out to that even if he's face it. Because that's good music. CYFOS $sign or whatever the fuck they're called. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young $sign.
So we get this match short but effective. Dorado gets the shine in the match. Hits the lethal injection. That looked good. Really good, actually.
Good.
Snap Rana sends Neville to the outside. And he dives on him. It's a flying body press for a near fall. Neville cuts him off, and then fun begins. Neville starts beating the daylights out of him. He basically, he picks him up going for, it looked like he was going for Wasteland. And he kind of just tosses him to the side. And he breaks out a finisher that we haven't seen in a long time. And that's the Rings of Saturn. So they gave Neville a submission. I like it. I like it a lot. It makes me happy.
Oh, fucking beautiful. So fucking beautiful.
And of course the segment's not over because Neville goes, stomps him down again, locks the rings in one more time. Rich Swann runs out for the save. And he basically gets the offense for a bit. It's a clothesline, the high kick. And Neville's basically in trouble. Swann's like, get up. And next thing you know, he goes for the overhead hook kick, and Neville powders to the outside. This was awesome. I enjoyed this. This is a great segment. Give me more Lince Dorado on Raw, please.
Yep.
Neville's looks even better when he's working with somebody that knows what they're doing.
Wow. Lince Dorado or somebody knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yes, he is, 100%. So this moves up to our next segment, which is Stephanie in the back.
Yep. Trying to think which one it was. No, don't forget Surf's Up 2.
Oh, yeah. Surf's Up 2 is coming later this month.
Did they do that on purpose? Because the bloody Jetsons trailer came out today.
And the Jetsons trailer's out now, too. So, yeah, the Jetsons trailer starring The Big Show.
Yeah.
The Big Show becomes Biff Tannen, and the WWE superstars have to come to the future to take him down.
Yeah.
Entertaining.
So, some guy is faffing about with Steph's bush. I should clarify that that's foliage.
You just stop the Popcast and
basically. Actually, if I had it down on my notes, some guy messing about with Steph's bush, and she told him to get rid of it. You're like, holy shit, waxing. So Bailey and Sasha come in and say, we want Charlotte and Nia next week. And Steph's like, well, Sasha, you got a shirt on that says legit boss. I'm the legit boss round here. And I'm like, no, you're fucking not. You're CFO, isn't she?
Yeah, which stands for can't figure out. She's trying to channel her dad as always, and that's basically what she's doing around this time of year every year.
No. You can't be channeling your dad. You've got tits and a vagina. It doesn't work for a woman.
Well, she's trying to do it with that same intensity that Vince has.
She doesn't need to. We're fucking sick of authority figures in any way, shape, or form.
Understatement of the year.
Yeah. Look at what TNA have done. They've just totally got rid of that whole shit, at least for the first few months of the re-establishment.
Very true.
Yeah. That's what even is fucking hurting New Japan. Because you've got, the New Japan, figurehead or whatever supposedly being the villain to Naito. Apparently the people in charge, have to be involved in storylines.
I guess.
Even ICW knew that they had to finish that segment off and just do fucking wrestling. The indies are doing it better than the mainstream. Fuck. And then she also says that Bayley should be calling her Mrs. McMahon. And I'm going, oh, that's Mrs. Levesque. I'm pretty sure. Or Mrs. H. That'd be better. Because I'm pretty sure Triple H's first name is actually Triple and his surname is H.
We'll go with that for the sake of the joke.
Yeah. His parents wanted him to be in a James, so they used the surname H. Probably what it was. And Steph's like, you get your match, but it isn't next week. It's tonight. Get the hell out of my office. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Why are we doing this again?
I don't know anymore.
This is why Raw's losing in the ratings. Because Stephanie is just... Nobody gives a fuck about her. If you note, 2 weeks ago, when Raw beat fucking SmackDown, or SmackDown beat Raw in the ratings, Foley wasn't even on the fucking show. Guess who was? Stephanie. So I'm really hoping that this week it does badly again. And we can... The two shows that have done so badly that they've lost to SmackDown in the ratings were the ones where Stephanie was predominantly in charge.
Well, yeah, the crowd just doesn't care at all.
Well, no, viewership, it isn't the crowd, it's the actual audience. Yeah, I don't even know how successful the college championship game went. Probably have a quick look at that now. Then we get the good match. Legit. Because Gallows is in the ring and Anderson's on commentary. And then Sheamus and Cesaro come out. And Cesaro walks over to the desk. And Carl's like, why pull up a chair? And get him a chair and get him some microphones. So, yeah, both Anderson and Cesaro are on commentary for Gallows versus Sheamus. Oh, my fucking God.
This was good. But it felt like something was missing. I don't know exactly how to describe it. It's just there should have been more to it than there was. Gallows did not really have the opportunity to get much heat on Sheamus. Crowd was actually cheering for Sheamus. So, congratulations, it's worked.
Holy shit, this college football game is close. It could be going, depending what happens with the scores, it could be going to overtime. Or it might be decided with like the last play of the game. WWE might be in trouble. Or Raw might be in trouble, I guess. Is it worth noting that fucking... I know it's sort of goes towards the finish of the match. But did you notice how fucking Anderson did a McGregor / Diaz?
No. Oh, I threw a bottle.
Yeah, he threw a bottle at Cesaro. I don't know whether they did that on purpose.
Yeah, so
that was such... As soon as that happened, I was like, I wonder where they got that idea, or I wonder where Anderson or Cesaro got the idea for that from.
So Gallows is about to finish off Sheamus. Sheamus lands on his feet off the fireman's carry, ducks the clothesline, hits Gallows with the overhead power slam, and Sheamus sets up for the brogue. Anderson throws the bottle. Cesaro Pearl Harbors him. Sheamus is distracted by this. Gallows hits a fireman's carry into a flapjack for a near fall. And Sheamus, when he kicks out, Cesaro is seen going for the swing. Gallows is distracted this time by this, walks into a brogue, which didn't look very good, honestly, because they didn't really catch it on camera, because Kevin Dunn has to show the fans. And match over.
Again, this is where I'd insert me going, but I'm more astounded by this football game.
I just want to bring up the fact that Fandango.com is listing us getting the movie Sleepless, which, of course, is the Jamie Foxx film that's coming out this weekend.
That's the sequel to Sleepless in Seattle.
No, wrong joke. The Sleepless that they're doing is they're showing the 2001 Max von Sydow Dario Argento film instead.
Holy shit!
And that's the picture that's listed on the website.
That's supposed to be good.
No. It's the right Sleepless. They put the wrong movie on Fandango's website.
I know. That's the problem.
No, the worst one was, bringing this up before we get to the Roman interview segment in the back. What happened was, many years ago when Frozen was about to come out, you remember they had a horror movie called Frozen, which the movie poster is basically like a ski lift.
In Kate Beckinsale's face.
Uh-huh. And that's the picture they posted for the Disney animated Frozen on that website. So yes, kudos Fandango for putting a 2001 Dario Argento classic DVD case on your website instead of a picture of Jamie Foxx looking like a cop. Which still means I'm not seeing Live by Night in Silence this week. So we're going to Roman Reigns talking, well, you know who he's talking to.
Kanasa! Saying, like, we saw what happened when you were attacked earlier. What are your chances tonight? And he goes, I don't care. I'm a champion. I've got every right to defend it. So I'm going to defend it. And successfully defend it. Because of reasons.
Then we get Mick Foley.
Yeah, so I'm distracted because the match might have been decided with a touchdown with 1 second left on the clock. Wow, this match was I don't even know how close last year's was, but this is looking more and more like SmackDown's got an open goal tomorrow. Especially with what they've already got set up. And 205 Live to some extent, even though it's not on the same thing. So yeah, Foley's in the ring. And says, he and Undertaker go way back over their careers and ask him to make one more trip from the dark side to meet him in the ring tonight. And then starts talking about their past and, Paul Bearer sticking his hair up on end. And then the lights go out. And Stephanie's music hits. And part of me's going, did they do that because of the Super Bowl 5 years ago? Admittedly, it's not the same building, but, considering where Mania is going to be. And she apologizes to everybody for Undertaker not appearing and conducts the performance review in public. And says that the fans being unhappy is his fault. Fucking really? I am pretty sure it's creative, Kevin Dunn, and Vince. Just putting it out there. Just fucking putting it out there. I know it's a wild theory, but it's a theory. Says, sure, you formed Cesaro and Sheamus and they've been successful. You did the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match. And although it would be a bit weird, the Shark Cage match. But you put the Cruiserweights on the line at Survivor Series, which they won. Put false hope in Sami Zayn and in doing so creating the monster of Braun Strowman. Since when the fuck do you care about heels hurting people, considering you're a heel bloody authority figure? And of course, Undertaker no showing. Except, of course, BONG! Undertaker shows up, literally takes, I think, 4 minutes. They should seriously just get him like a fucking... They should... You know what would have been quicker if he was in Enzo's wheelchair?
his rascal he came out in.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And Taker says, I'm back. And I think it's important that I set a few things clear. I answer to no one. The fucking Undertaker murdering Shane McMahon? Did he just do it because he wanted to murder him? He can go where he wants, when he wants. No one controls him. I've returned to the city where the street came to an end, but my journey hasn't finished yet, and I'll continue to the Rumble. I've dug 29 holes for 29 souls. And don't worry, the dark side will be hitting the Rumble. And if anybody gets in my way, they'll rest in peace. So yeah. Welcome to the Royal Rumble from 2004. Mainly because Brock's in it, Goldberg's in it, and Undertaker's in it. Which probably means, if we're going on that logic, that somebody's going to win whose name will be redacted from the record books within 3 years. Although I doubt that will happen. All of a sudden, though, now that puts the idea that Taker could actually win.
Yeah. It's a really good possibility now, especially when they set the ball in motion. It's just one of those things that basically you have. It pretty much writes itself. Cena beats AJ. Taker wins the Rumble. Taker and Cena at Mania. Or you have Cena lose to AJ, have to enter the Rumble to defend himself, defend his name, and he eliminates The Undertaker, or somehow they end up in a brawl and that ends up that way. Literally for The Undertaker's character right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly sure what direction they're going to go with this. I mean, they don't have to have the title on the line. They could have, like, I would say title versus career makes the most sense. But you'd have to really set that up in order for it to work. Like, you could have the title up for grabs. But, I mean, the end game here is John Cena and The Undertaker. So you have to get there somehow. And the easiest way to do it is have him win the Rumble. But I don't want The Undertaker to win the Rumble because obviously I still want Sami Zayn to win the Rumble, but I think the ship's about sailed on that, unfortunately. But the thing is, I see where they're going with this, and I'm really curious to see what comes next.
Mm. So, next, Cedric Alexander versus Noam Dar.
Yes.
Then we got Charlie interviewing Jericho. And Charlie's like, it's Undertaker. And Kevin's like, exciting, I'm angry. Goldberg in my show, and Roman Reigns did last week. But I guess the important thing is that Roman will be the one that's suffering tonight once we're done with him. And Chris says, yeah, we'll shut that stupid idiot up once and for all by taking his US title. And then both me and Kevin will be both Universal champions as well as United States champions. And then we get the women's match.
So, yeah, I mean, this match was fine for what it was, other than the fact that, again, it's the same problem we have with everything. It is basically turning into, we're just going to recycle the same match over and over and over and over again every single week.
Yep.
That's the biggest problem. Welcome, Pedro, to chat. He says, Rumble's looking good with Taker, Lesnar, and Goldberg. Surprised Jericho got the U.S. title. I think he deserved it because he and the other legends made the title what it was back in WCW. Very true. We'll get to that momentarily. Welcome back to chat, Pedro. Here's the thing. This match was fine for what it was. Nia Jax botches the Snake Eyes. It just didn't work. Interesting finish here. I actually like this because Bayley rolls Charlotte up. Nia blind tagged her in. Bayley ends up getting Vader attacked, and Nia hits the leg drop off the ropes and gets the win. Nia Jax is basically being turned into WWE's newest version of Bull Nakano in every way possible. Now, will she end up having that kind of a career? Doubtful, but I mean, WWE machine is behind somebody, as we've seen with people in the past, especially Roman Reigns. No matter if it's a lost cause or not, they're going to push it till the well runs dry. And it's the same thing they're doing with Nia Jax. They're trying to turn her into Bull Nakano. It's the only way to really describe it. There's nothing to this match. The only thing I really will give them... Actually, the only thing I'll give them...
Unbreakable fucking machine.
Well, the only thing I will give them credit for is the fact that not only did they have Nia Jax go after Bayley or after Sasha, like the first just randomly just kicking her in the knee and just watching her fall down, but she also grabbed Charlotte too. So she's pretty much doesn't care. Mm-hmm. She's like a mercenary for hire is pretty much what she's being turned into. And if that's what they want to turn Nia Jax into,
she's not like most girls.
No, she is not like most girls. I really would like to see it. I like to see them do something with her, and I think that they will. No matter if people necessarily want it or not, if they believe there's something to be made out of Nia Jax, they're going to do something with her. And this weird feud continues. So the match was okay for what it was. I mean, not much to write home about, just typical Raw match. I love the finish though because it was really unique. Not unique as in we haven't seen it a million times, but for a women's division tag match, it's not something you see all the time. So.
Yeah, but did we establish she ain't like most girls?
Oh, God. We do establish that Noam Dar apparently is the new version of Stuart Smalley with his mirror action.
Oh, my God.
Because I'm good enough. I'm
my
smart
God.
enough. And doggone it, Fox, he likes me. I can do a lot of accents. That's not one of them. Continue, actually.
He's backstage. And Alicia shows up. And he just puts his face out. And she goes, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Well, I said that Cedric wasn't a good enough a man to be with you. And I'm expecting you're going to slap me, so I'm just giving you a chance to do so." She grabs him and gives him an almighty fucking snog.
Yeah.
And he comes up.
Pretty sure she bit his lip.
You see, I don't know.
It might be the makeup, but he looks like she bit his lip.
Yeah.
Because she's crazy, and they made it clear before.
They tried to make it look like blood, but the problem is it looked purple.
Yeah, it looked bad.
It looked more like, oh my God. He didn't clean up after himself, and he's had a prune that got stuck to his mouth, and the juice has just stayed there. You like the fucking prunes? And she just goes, "Well, if you can't deal with that, you certainly aren't man enough for me." She walks off, and he's shocked at first, and then he's just like, at least in his head, because he doesn't say anything. In his head, he's just, "Foxy."
Here we go again.
It's getting more Japanese though. It's like, "Foxy, what is it?" Yeah, it's all silence too much. Oh fuck. New Day make their way out. I think with Titus. Also, what was that fucking film called? We nearly had the PG-13 recreation of, was it Feed?
Maybe.
That horror film where the serial killer fattened up the victims by just stuffing them up with food and then killing them.
Pretty much the sloth deal from Seven.
Sort of. Except it involved breakfast cereal. Because you pointed it out to me. You were just like, is that girl going to die from suffocation? Because I think you said she had like 15 ladles of like bootios or something. So, New Day are in the ring with Titus. Was Titus with him in the first place or not? I can't remember.
I think they brought him out after the commercial break.
Titus came out during commercial.
Yes.
That's what you get, Titus. And Titus apologized for last week and wants another chance to be part of the team. And they go, we know. You keep tweeting us. You keep texting us. I know I mentioned about my DMs being wide open, but that was for Beyonce, not for you, Titus. Then Titus does some song rap thing. Basically, it went something like, do I look like I know what a JPEG is? All I want's a picture of a goddamn hot dog. Turn down for what? So, they say, oh, we know you want to take the bull by the horns, but we've done our research. And we think we found something that proves you're more of a bull in a china shop. So they show the footage from 6-ish years ago of, was it season 2?
Titus?
Yeah.
It'd have to be season 2 because Titus wasn't in the original NXT.
Yeah. And it was the beer keg challenge. The idea was that you had to take a beer keg and run it around the ring.
Yeah, and then of course he tripped and fell on his face when they did the original challenge and became a laughing stock.
Balance. Yeah, he lost his balance because he slipped on the mat.
Right.
And I remember this 6 years ago.
They
showed highlights of it and just basically showed it happening like 57 times. They re-aired this tonight. New Day are laughing and then unveil they've got a beer keg of their own, except there's no beer in it. Instead, it's full of booty juice.
Just wait for them to start selling that at FYE.
Which it had some sort of slogan. I never properly heard what it was. But anyway, they challenged him to basically beat the time that he was supposed to beat back in the day, which was, I think, 12.7 seconds.
That's correct.
So he does it and goes across the line with 1 second to spare. And
but he doesn't.
Well, hang on. New Day go, hold on. I need to clarify something. Let's go to the replay. And basically, what he completes it and goes across the line, but in doing so, because he's so proud that he's actually made it this time and not fell over, he's dropped the barrel before he's crossed the line. So they're saying he's been disqualified. This pisses him off enough that he just gets in sort of like a minor push and shove thing with Kofi and is like, oh, you want to fight? Let's fight. But before that, we get the graphics that New Orleans is hosting WrestleMania 34.
Right.
Which, it's a good looking logo. And then just to confuse everything, when they swipe over into the match, which is already underway, there is a WrestleMania 30 logo that sweeps over. Which is a bit confusing. I still need to find proof of that, so I'm going to fucking social media. As Owen talks about this shit fair.
Yeah. So we get Titus against Kofi right after the commercial break. It sucks. The whole thing sucks for Titus right now because it really feels like he's still being ribbed for what happened with Vince. Which really sucks because Titus is a good guy and there's a lot of upside with Titus. He's a big guy that can talk. You can do pretty much anything with him. They're not going to, but they should. And you're not going to put him back together with Darren Young because he's going his own separate path, and they're going to completely keep them away from each other. I really don't like this. This was kind of dumb. The match was something, I guess you can say. They basically let Titus ragdoll Kofi for a bit. He hit the backbreakers, and usually he tossed him aside. He kind of gradually dumped him, and he goes for it. Xavier with the trombone. Of course, that led to Titus tossing Kofi over the top onto Big E, and then Titus chases around. Kofi gets under the bottom rope. Titus comes in. He catches. Looks like he's setting up for SOS, but he turns him into Trouble in Paradise and wins it clean. I really don't know why they did this. I don't know why they're doing this storyline. I'm okay with Titus being on television, but it really seems like with the depleted tag team division, there's not much of a reason for me to care about the New Day either. And I like the New Day. I really do. Like I said, met Xavier Woods at Horror Nights this past year. Super awesome guy. Talked to Kofi several times on Twitter. Big E seems like a jam-up guy. I like the New Day personally. It's just there's not much you can do with them now because they've beaten everybody. There's no new tag teams. You can't turn them. There's no reason to turn them. So, I mean, they're just kind of going through the motions. They do these weird storylines with Titus. And the only thing I can think of right now is Titus brings in a tag team to go after the New Day. But the problem is there's really no answer to who that could be. I mean, there is nobody they could do anything with at this point. I could say Titus may get in with the Authors of Pain, but oh god, I don't want to see that. I mean, there's nothing you can do. I mean, you could have done it with the Usos. They're on SmackDown. They've pretty much butchered their tag division, so there's really not much you can do with them. So yeah, that's a problem right now. It really is. It seems like there's no direction at this point, and that's a big issue. But welcome back, Ashley.
I was here anyway. Wasn't I?
You were. I think you didn't say anything for a while, so that's why I was asking.
I'm trying to double check this for stuff. I'm trying to get the footage of this logo. I'm hoping this edit didn't cut it out.
But yeah, like I said, I mean, the finish you see coming from a mile away. There's not much you can do with it. Yeah, the primetime players are done. You can't do anything with them at this point. They're treating Titus like they did with Ryback somewhat. And it's funny because Ryback pulled out of a booking around Royal Rumble weekend, and a lot of people were speculating if he's going to be going back to the E for the Rumble as one of the hidden participants, one of the secret participants. Because every year they always have special people come into the Rumble that are one shots or just are there to return back to the company. I don't think Ryback's going back to the company, but I mean, because he can make a lot more money on the Indies than he can in WWE right now. But I guess we'll see where it goes with that. Pedro did say something a little bit ago. I want to mention that he did say it's like Nia Jax is being treated like Dana Brooke, just as hired muscle. How Strowman was the Wyatts. Yeah, I can see that somewhat. I mean, we'll see what she does with it if it works. Do you think Bayley deserves the title? Is going to win it? Bayley definitely deserves the title, no matter how badly she's been booked lately. Even though, like Ashley has mentioned numerous times, WWE are just basically trying to stick it to Daniel Bryan with all their storylines right now in one form or another. So they're going to do this plucky underdog wins the championship at the big WrestleMania main event again. Not a main event, obviously, but at the big WrestleMania, the big card of the year is when she's going to win the title. She's losing at the Rumble, and then she's going to get another shot, and she's going to beat Charlotte at WrestleMania. I think that a heel Sasha Banks will be involved in that, honestly. And I could honestly see them doing some sort of interpromotional thing with Becky being brought in as Bayley's partner for one night only to beat Sasha and Charlotte. And I think they're probably going to go that route. Right now, I think Bayley will get the championship. They need to build her back up better. They really do. Nothing's going to work with Roman right now. Seriously. Like, you can't do anything to freshen up his character. You can turn him, but they're not going to. And they don't care that he's getting booed. He's getting a reaction, and any sort of heat is good in one way or another. So as long as you're getting a reaction, that's all that matters. No matter if it's good or bad, that's what they want to get. They want people to cheer and boo Roman, but the thing is most people aren't cheering Roman, they're booing Roman. Like Ashley said, we don't know what Roman's theme song is anymore because it might as well just be a chorus of boos. So, again, another good guy that gets treated pretty badly by the fan base because he's been thrust down our throats for years now, and just it's not working. It's never worked. They had a really good opportunity to do something with Roman when they teased him winning the Rumble because they wanted him to win, but he didn't. And they let it slip away. And when they wanted to push Roman, we just didn't care anymore. So that's the reason why that's failed so miserably. But Ashley, feel free to let me know when you have found this magical clip that exists.
I am trying to get this fucking loaded up, and it's not properly. These folders. Oh, there we go. Delete that one. If I take that one, I'll send it to you on Facebook.
Oh boy.
Twitter be easier.
It doesn't matter.
I'll go to the Twitters then.
Okay, so Pedro says the best thing WWE did was having all three members of the Shield hold the title in one form. Yeah, Roman got the title when no one cared. Seth was fine but got hurt, and Ambrose was hot, but they gave the title to him when he was already cooled off. And splitting them up was a good idea because you can make money later on when you put them back together for a one night only match and make a lot of money that way too.
I've got the screenshot that I've grabbed off the tablet. You tell me that isn't the 30 logo.
That is the WrestleMania 30 logo, upside down it may be, but it's there.
Well, basically, in order for it to be put up on YouTube, they've had to mirror it, put it backwards and cut off all the logos. But that panned across the screen, you know how like the logo does when they transition to like a video package or back to live action.
Right. I see where you're coming from, 100%.
I can't live share video, so you can't see the actual new WrestleMania logo, and then that sweeps over.
Well, I can see it, and basically what Ashley showed me was right after they show the new WrestleMania logo, for a split second, they're showing the WrestleMania 30 logo.
Yeah, they transition over, not with like a generic WrestleMania logo.
Right.
But they transition it over with the WrestleMania 31.
Which is appropriate because the logos are very similar.
I don't think many people have noticed this because it's not appearing on social media.
Right.
I think I fucking called it first.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the UK Championship tournament should be very interesting. They also confirmed tomorrow we have SmackDown. You've got the American Alpha versus Wyatt rematch for the tag belts, and Cena versus Corbin. Along with tomorrow we're on 205 Live. We've got Cedric Alexander versus Noam Dar, and added Tony Nese versus Rich Swann, which means Drew Gulak in a suit, which means, yeah. And Brock's also on Raw next week. So Q Roman, Q Jericho. Interestingly, this time, there's not even a chance to do intros from JoJo, because Roman sets about them. Except, of course, because there's two of them, they set about him on the stage. Because he manages to get Jericho, Roman does, and puts him inside the cage.
Right.
But Kevin makes the save. By the way, R. Owen actually called that spot about 30 seconds before it happened.
Yep, totally did.
Like, we should put him in the cage, and it becomes like, you know, a not handicap match, or at least for a bit. It's like, oh shit, he's going over there. But Kevin manages to get him out. And then there's this spot where Jericho throw him into the side of the cage. And the cage eventually takes a topple off the stage. Because it's so bloody big, and because they smack it, I guess, hard enough, it sort of gains a bit of air. So it comes 1 meter away from smashing the bloody fence of the barricade that people have got their hands on because they're trying to lean in. So we nearly had, you know, a Brock moment. Except this time it would have been caused by Roman. They boo him even more then. It was the best bit. And, you know, despite the shit that did go down in it, as in terms of Roman, because he can never be beaten.
Right.
Despite all that shit, it actually was a good match.
Yeah,
Even
I like
though
it. It was short.
Given, what, 8 minutes or so?
Yeah, it was giving
The bell
next to no time.
I think, like, the bell didn't ring till I think like 2 to the hour. So it was like we got, you know, it was like WC, no commercial breaks until this match is over. Actually, that would have been the best bit if just at 4 o'clock, you know, Michael Cole went, "We're out of time. Have to watch next week. Have to watch next week on Thunder for the action."
So Pedro mentioned real quick about the crowd at Survivor Series really wanting to see the Shield reunion. And when they did the Cerberus bomb to the table on AJ, it was one of those things that was like a moment that they really wanted to capitalize on. And they knew that the only way they were going to get Roman cheered by people that weren't children or women, that I'm not being sexist, that's the cheers you hear for Roman Reigns. You hear women and children cheering for Reigns. Same thing you basically heard with Cena back in the day. But now basically people just boo Cena because it's fun to boo Cena.
No, it's like the fucking Titanic. Women and children first.
But that's where the merch money comes in too, so that works. But it's one of those things that it's just the Shield getting back together. It's going to make money when it happens, but I swear to you, they just need to make it a one-time only thing and let everybody go their separate ways afterwards. You need to get everybody away from each other and just understand Roman's going to get booed. Roman's going to get cheered. People are going to deal with him the way that they want to, regardless if we tell you what to do and what not to do. The fans are going to do what they want, and they're going to boo Roman, and it's clear they're going to boo. Like the smaller towns, they'll probably cheer Roman, but like the bigger cities will probably boo him out of the building like they have normally. Yes, Pinhead Larry, I'm very happy Jericho won the title. He is now like an ultimate grand champion. He has held every championship, and that does include the hardcore championship as well.
He hasn't held. Did he have the light heavyweight title at any point?
I was getting ready to say he did not have the WWF light heavyweight title. That is correct. That's the only title he did not.
Technically, because it follows the same lineage, he has held the cruiserweight title.
Oh God, yes, he had the cruiserweight title numerous times.
Because they did carry that over, I think, didn't they?
Yeah.
Even though they renamed it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy Jericho won the title. It's good because somebody is actually going to have the championship that's going to defend it. I laughed out loud when Roman basically talked about defending the title every night, night in and night out. And I was like, that's funny. It's just, I like what they did with this. Short, straight to the point. Why couldn't they just did this last week? Don't know. They didn't have any collusion between Owens and Jericho like they could. They're not really building any problems between the two of them right now, and they could easily do that right now to set up Jericho costing Owens the title at the Rumble, but they're not going that route. They're actually making them super best friends again, and that works. That works quite well. But yeah, this was great to see, honestly, that Jericho, it's strange that if you look at his storied career, Ashley, it took until 2017 to finally win the U.S. title.
Yep.
It boggles my mind, because you would think after all these years that even in WCW, when he was in WCW, obviously it was all about the cruiserweight title, and that's pretty much what his focus was. But I mean, Malenko won the U.S. title at one point, so I mean, why they could have transitioned the feud from the cruiserweight belt to the U.S. title, but they didn't. So Jericho has had title shots, but he never really got a chance to really compete for it, and then he never could win it when the WWE took over the lineage. It was nice to see that he finally won that championship. I mean, there is one major thing that Jericho's never won.
The Universal title.
He never won the Royal Rumble. And it's not going to happen this year, but Jericho has never won the Royal Rumble, and I think that's something they could give him. If they really wanted to set this up, they should have had Jericho in line to win the Rumble this year.
Who says he isn't winning it this year?
He could. Jericho wins the Rumble and faces Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Isn't winning the Royal Rumble right now is Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
And if he wins it now, fuck this company.
Yeah, like I said, when Roman and Strowman are battling at WrestleMania, that's probably going to be when I get merchandise or get a Pepsi or talk to Scott or just something else other than watch the match. I got to keep my voice okay because I got 4 straight days of wrestling that I'm going to have to boo and cheer for. So there you go. I mean, Jericho, yeah, Pedro said this best. Jericho could make the title worthy as Miz did with the Intercontinental, and that could work. Or they're just doing this to get Jericho to be a transitional champion. I don't want that to be the case, though.
No. Well, I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, we don't know what direction we're going to go at this point. I mean, there's really no way of knowing because they change their mind, it seems like, daily. No matter if you think that you know what they're doing, you don't. I did like the way that this match finished, though. Owens he went for the apron bomb the first time. It gets blocked, and he gets backdropped. Cole calls it a pop-up powerbomb attempt. No. Goes for the drive-by. He hits on Owens. Jericho goes for the springboard dropkick. Gets caught with the Superman. Owens grabs Roman's foot. He eats the code breaker. Owens hits the apron bomb. Finally rolls Roman in. tosses him into the code breaker in 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it was basic for all intents and purposes for a match that was a handicap match. It was pretty much clean. Short, clean win for Jericho.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what matters, surely.
Right, and of course, this is beginning the road to the Royal Rumble next week with Brock showing up and just trying to find out who else is going to be on the Rumble from SmackDown, because pretty much you have to look at it from this perspective. You obviously know a lot of people that are going to be on it that are in the Rumble right now from Raw. And the only people announced for SmackDown is Corbin. And then, of course, they're going to add more to that. And then you're going to have the surprise entrance. And you're going to have to wonder if anybody's coming up from NXT. And then you're going to see if there's going to be any sort of people showing up in the company that have never been in there before or haven't been there for a long time. They're going to show up as surprises as well. You don't know at this point. So we're just along for the ride until the Rumble and the SAGs at the end of the month.
Indeed.
So on that note, I think that's our show.
Indeed.
Not a bad show. I mean, could be a lot worse. SmackDown looks pretty bright tonight for Cena and Corbin, and I never thought I'd say that, but Cena and Corbin could be okay. Yeah. And American
exactly
Alpha.
The same. It's like, wait, I'm saying the word Cena and Corbin and great in the same sentence.
Obviously,
hyperventilating.
American Alpha versus the Wyatt family, and we're going to find out more from heel Ziggler to the new push he's got, where he's going to be working with Apollo Crews, which, like I said, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, they'll do more with Fandango and Tyler Breeze, but I guess they won't because they suck. Right now, the tag division are pretty much just building up to when the Revival shows up and wreck stuff, so that's what's going to happen soon. I've said this before, mark my words, it will happen. If not before WrestleMania, it'll happen on the SmackDown after WrestleMania. I mean, Pedro wants to see Kurt Angle come back and work with Lesnar. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But, I mean, Angle, I think, has a chance to show up at some point. I mean, he has been basically, like, dancing around the subject on Twitter and saying pretty much that he's coming back to WWE in April and everything. And just, like, I don't know. I mean, Angle's canceled a lot of indie dates, and he's working with Cody in a cage for Northeast, and he's working with Del Rio at WCPW.
Because of the fact it's a week before, I'm sort of thinking that might rule him out.
Yeah, and I also noticed, and there's a lot of people that are wondering with all the internet speculation, is Kenny Omega going to be in the Royal Rumble? My guess is no. Omega basically said he's going to take a little bit of time off to rest himself, rejuvenate himself. He'll come back in March. He'll be fine. He'll probably...
Well, this is sort of verging on what we should be talking about Monday. Sorry, Wednesday. Track of time.
Tomorrow, yes.
New Japan got fucking wise to this shit.
Yeah, they're actual real contracts now.
Omega is contracted till January the 31st.
Yep.
So he cannot
legally
show up until February the 1st.
Right.
But knowing Kenny, I'm pretty sure this is making everybody think he's going.
Yeah.
And I think some people in WWE are falling for it.
And it doesn't really help when Cena does that stuff on Instagram, too. Cena does that stuff on Instagram.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying he's making people fall for it.
Of course.
It's the best fucking bit.
He'll show back up. He'll win he'll probably come back probably at Dominion. Most likely.
I don't think it's even that. I think it's going to be wrestling Don. Is it no? Not wrestling Don Taku. Probably New Japan Cup in March.
He's going to win the cup.
I would argue.
I mean, the only way I could see him losing is if they give it to like Goto or Naito or somebody we're not even thinking. Or Juice Robinson's even somebody that could even possibly happen at this point, because it seems like they're really intent to push him.
But that would be for the other. Not brand.
That's what we're talking about this on a Raw Popcast. Yeah, it's definitely going to be for the Never Openweight title. I almost guarantee that's the next program. They set it up perfectly.
Which means Cody versus Juice.
Yep.
Instead of Shibata. You morons.
I don't know why they did that. They'll book that match down the line. Mark my words. It'll happen. Yeah, we're talking about this a day early, so we'll get our New Japan talk on Wednesday. So once again, I want to thank Pedro for joining us in chat. It was very nice chatting with you as always, sir. And welcome to Pinhead Larry for joining chat for a moment. So thank you again for joining us. Hopefully you like what you heard. And wrestling fans, we will join you on tomorrow at 9 p.m. for the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast, where we talk all things professional wrestling. We're talking about SmackDown 205 Live and NXT. We're talking about Ring of Honor. We're talking about New Japan. We're talking about the Indies. We're going to talk about a lot of things. The Cruiserweight Classic, Superstars on 205 Live, obviously, and the tournament setting up for the United Kingdom champion to be crowned later this weekend. We'll talk about that. We'll TNA Impact. We'll talk Lucha Underground. We'll talk UFC. A lot of stuff, the normal see here on the network every Wednesday at 9 p.m. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that. Kirby Mania just went down. So, What Culture Pro Wrestling. We also got New Japan's New Year Dash, which is basically their Raw after WrestleMania. So, yes, very much looking forward to it. I enjoyed talking about stuff on Wednesday that's actually I'm interested in. Raw is not the greatest most of the time, so it's always nice to be able to talk about indie wrestling. So I enjoy that. Thank you, Pedro, for being there. We will see you as well on tomorrow for our show. And basically, I got a lot to talk about before we do our outro. But right now, as I see that John Murdy has just announced the first official code name for Halloween Horror Nights 2017 in Hollywood, which is Lemonade. I'll get to that sometime in the next week or so when we get some actual clues. Something tells me it's going to be a very horrific time in America. I could tell you a story, but it probably wouldn't help. At any rate, Ashley, where can we find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter at AshesMyNameUK, where I'm just retweeting shit, apparently, either to win competitions or wrestlers. Apparently.
Yes, I'm trying.
I'm trying one thing because I've been too deeply embedded into Awesome Games Done Quick. They're doing their first of the two of the year for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Whole heap of games, some of which. That's honestly where The Room came back into my head, because they played Silent Hill The Room and they made loads of Tommy Wiseau jokes in the donations. So it's like, that's why You're Tearing Me Apart, Lana, came back for one night only, possibly.
Indeed. So, quick programming note: yes, Pedro Lemonade, and if you put two and two together, it pretty much tells you what I think Lemonade is. That last statement I made was rather cryptic, now wasn't it? The thing is, we have a lot of things coming in.
What was that horror film that had Beyonce? What was that horror film that had Beyonce in it?
Beyonce wasn't in a horror movie. It was the other member of Destiny's Child in Freddy vs. Jason.
No, Obsessed.
Oh, geez, that movie was god awful.
With Idris Elba.
Oh, geez. No. So, like I said, we have the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast tonight at 9 p.m., so check that out. Or tomorrow at 9 p.m., since it's now Tuesday. So, yeah, you can check that out, 9 p.m. And on Thursday, Sip and Snack returns with something that probably should have been done in Christmas time, via what it is. And on Friday, AJ's Movie Reviews is tackling La La Land, Lion, and Patriots Day. And then on Saturday, you're going to get a bonus version of AJ's Movie Reviews to talk about Monster Trucks, The Bye Bye Man, and Sleepless. So we will be doing our guilds video for the WGA, the DGA, the PGA, and the AJ's Movie Reviews coming in the near future. Got another cluster video coming. Gaming with Ash returns next week. And it looks like Halloween Horror Nights videos will be starting soon. So as soon as we get more information, you're probably going to get another podcast from the elite of the Popcast Network. So that being said, as always, follow along on Twitter with us here at Popcast Network. Follow me on Twitter at Sir Owen Disney. Follow the network on Twitter by liking our Facebook fan page. It's under Popcast Network. We're close to 200 likes, so thank you out there to all of you that have liked our fan page. If you haven't yet, click like. And also, we have merch at Zazzle. That's at Popcast Network. We have a Patreon page. That's at Popcast Network. And as always, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more tonight you have chosen a podcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank everyone for listening. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, go watch La La Land.
Alicia Fox's ass. Are you shining in my face, Foxy?